Breaking news. I'm gonna go ahead and call it now and put this theory out into the atmosphere that it's not gonna be Kawaki that destroys the Leaf Village. Now, if you are familiar with Boruto the anime and Boruto the manga, and you're up to date with the current chapter of Boruto, then you're gonna understand what I'm talking about. Now, I need y'all to go back and reference the very first episode of Boruto in the anime, where we had that future sight of Kawaki and Boruto fighting on the Hokage Face Mountains, and the entire village was destroyed. Now, everybody assumed that it was Kawaki who destroyed the Leaf Village. But with this recent chapter of Boruto, is it crazy to assume that it was actually Boruto who destroyed the Leaf Village? And Kawaki was trying to either one, destroy Boruto, or two, bring him back to the Boruto that we all have grown to know. The reason I say this is because in the recent chapter of Boruto, we have this moment where Boruto, and I think the very first indication of this is on page 37, where Boruto loses control. Now, we know how Boruto gained his karma mark. He destroyed and killed one of the Otsutsuki clan, and after he destroyed him with the Rasengan, he had this karma mark appear on his palm. Well, in this most recent chapter, towards the end of it, we have that same Otsutsuki, I assume, took over his body at the time and basically eradicated Boruto in his entirety. We have this period where Boruto is no longer Boruto, and he seems to be one of the Otsutsukis that he destroyed. And if I can quote something from page 37, on page 37 he says, "No, not yet, my dear blue-eyed boy. It's still a ways away that you'll lose it all." And then he passes out, and then Boruto regains his consciousness. Is this an indication that it's not going to be Kawaki that destroys the Leaf Village? Because if you remember how Kawaki gained his karma mark, it was from Jigen with all of the experiments. Well, Boruto gained his karma mark, like I've said before, from an actual Otsutsuki. So it is within the realm of possibility that Boruto may lose all sense of who he is and destroy the clan. Well, not the clan, but he will destroy the village. But let's talk about it. Kind of late in the video to get into the intro, but if you are new to the channel, go plus ultra and smash that subscribe button. It lets me know you're rocking with the content that I put out here on the channel. And without further ado, let's get into this review. Now, within chapter 43 of Boruto, finally, if not the last chapter, it is the second to last chapter of this entire Boro escapade that we have going on currently within the Boruto series. And it has been a very long road, because Boro has got to have been the most least interesting character of Kara that we have seen thus far. Sarada manages to get the Chidori off on Boro before he moves his scientific ninja tool core out of the way of being harmed. She rips the core from his body, and then she crushes it within his hand. Now, after this, you have Boro basically have a malfunction, and what happens is that his body begins to morph into this hentai tentacle-like monster, and as a result of that, he doesn't lose control, but you know at this point in time that his regenerative ability is no longer active. As a result of his core being removed, he grows tentacles. He goes ham on Sarada, Kawaki, Boruto, and Mitsuki. And before all of that happens, they do actually manage to free the 7th Hokage from the core by opening up a portal inside of the core and linking that to the outside world, which then in turn drops Naruto out of the core, but he is still unconscious at the time. After all of this is happening, Naruto, like I mentioned at the beginning, he loses consciousness, and this Otsutsuki presence comes out and takes down Boruto. The Otsutsuki who is inhabiting Boruto's body siphons off chakra from Naruto and then uses a Odama Rasengan to then silence Boro. Now, we don't know if he's... Do we know if he's killed? Hold on. No, we don't know if he's killed. We see the Rasengan get dropped off on page like 36, 35, something like that, and then Boruto passes out. He regains consciousness as Boruto, and he's like, what happened? He has no recollection of anything that has happened thus far. He doesn't even know how Boruto is destroyed at this point. The biggest thing that we get is at the very end of the chapter, after all of this has happened, on page 40, where you have Kashin Koji enters the headquarters and he's asking, he says, "Where's Jigen?" And the man responds and he says, "Jigen is recharging in the back. He hasn't even regained he hasn't even regained 10% of his power." We know this after the fight of Jigen versus Naruto and Sasuke. So Kashin Koji responds and says, "I see, what about Boruto and Code?" And the man responds, he says, "They're both out. Boruto's guarding the Hokage, Code is with 10 tails." Kashin Koji responds, "Good." The man says, "You're going to do it?" Question mark. And then Kashin Koji responds, "Yeah, I'm taking him down." And then you see this panel between Kashin Koji and Jigen, and that is the end of the chapter. But it is heavily implied that Kashin Koji is going to go and fight Jigen currently as he is now, in which is going to be a very interesting altercation between the two. Kashin Koji has remained a very elusive creature throughout all of Boruto. I don't even know if in the anime Kashin Koji has made an appearance yet. I haven't watched the anime in such a long time, but nonetheless, I feel the tides are about to turn. But that is all dependent on if Kashin Koji at 100% can take on Jigen at 10%. If he can't, that is a testimony to Jigen. If he can, I don't see that really being a testimony to Kashin Koji in terms of strength. But there is a huge speculation on Kashin Koji and his true identity, but I think I'm going to save that for another video in and of itself. But that is Boruto chapter 43, ladies and gentlemen. That is my theory on what will happen to Boruto in Kawaki when it comes time to have their fight that we saw within the anime. If you made it to the end, thank you for rocking with me. If you liked the video, like the video. If you disliked the video, dislike the video. Comment on the video, share the video, and like always, keep it safe for Rabbit. I'm out.